This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hello friends, welcome to another upcycling and mending video. Today I'll be repairing and adjusting clothes from my wardrobe, giving them a second life and reminding myself that I don't need to shop to refresh my closet. I think we all have pieces we've stopped wearing, not because we don't like them, but because they are too short, too tight, too big, or a little worn out. And so often, instead of fixing them, we just let them sit in the closet or just throw them away. We are so used to buying something new the moment a garment doesn't fit or breaks. But what if repairing it was actually a better option? To help me stay accountable to this mindset, I keep a bin just for clothes that need repairing or upcycling. Having them separate helps me stay organized and stops me from forgetting about them. You can even turn it into a small ritual, fix one piece a month, or make a whole weekend out of mending. Let's see what I've got. There's a bit of everything in here. Some pieces only need small repairs or adjustments, others I'm keeping as fabric, and a few I'm still not sure what to do with it yet. Here's what I'm hoping to tackle in this video. We'll see how far I get. I want to downsize the waist of these black corduroy pants so I can wear them comfortably without the belt. Then there's this blouse. I completely forgot it was waiting to be repaired. My mom asked me to fix it months ago, so it's definitely time. This burnt hole needs to be repaired in one of my partner's fleece jackets. I also want to make this blue sweater fit me better, because right now it's just a bit too oversized. Next, I found some of the original fabric I used on one of the first pants I made, so I can finally add pockets to them. And finally, if I have time, I'd like to try lengthening the sleeves of this dress. You gave me some really good ideas on how to make them longer, and now I want to test them out. I'm really excited to start these projects. Please remember to subscribe or leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. It would help a lot. Thank you! I'm going to start with my corduroy pants. I thrifted them maybe 2 years ago, and it's 1 or 2 sizes bigger than mine. So I've been wearing this thing as a belt. These are one of my best winter pants, so it's time to fix them already. I can see the pants have pleats on the back. Maybe I could make the pleats bigger so it fits me better, but I'm worried the pocket will look weird then. Maybe I should do that on the sides, so it's not so noticeable. I'm going to unstitch the sides and baste new pleats on the sides to see how it would look. I need to take off 2 centimeters on each side, so I'm making 1 centimeter pleat here on the side seam. Okay, it's done. Now it has this extra fabric on the inside. I could cut that and make a zigzag stitch, but bodies change, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't mind the extra bulkiness. This way, if I gain weight, I just have to unstitch the seams I've made, and they will also fit me. This is a good reminder to make clothes work for your body instead of the other way around. In one of my last videos, I made the opposite in case you need to upsize your pants. It was harder, I think, to upsize, but I guess it depends on the pants. can finally wear these just as they are, and now I can return this hair scarf where it belongs. We're going to take a short break from the video because today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. One of my goals for this year was to finally build a website where I can share my sewing and crochet projects in more depth, and Squarespace made that process really easy. It's now published and I will make blog updates soon. With their templates and drag and drop editor, I was able to create pages without needing to code anything or start from scratch. What I really appreciate about Squarespace is how it takes care of the less creative tasks for you, like automatically handling SEO pages and images. That's usually a lot of work, but here it's done in just a few clicks. If you've been thinking about creating a website or portfolio, you can try Squarespace for free at squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/EstelSogo to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using the code EstelSogo. Who doesn't have an old fleece like this, one you use at home for cutting wood or working outside? The kind of reliable jacket that's been worn down by time and use. This one has a hole on the front, probably from welding. First, I'm trimming away the burned fabric to leave a clean opening. This is my first time repairing a hole like this, but I thought I'd keep it simple and use a small piece of fabric from the inside. Then hand-stitched it over the damaged area. And voila, no more hole. It's still visible, but it's much better than before, and the jacket is ready to be worn again. This took me 20 minutes tops, and all that's left to do now is to mend the piece I've cut inside. Now let's move on to my mom's t-shirt. This was one of her favorites and she wore it a lot. Over time and after many washes, the fabric has started to wear out, especially around the bottom. There's too much damage here to fix it with a small patch, so instead I'm going to remove the entire worn section, cut it cleanly and replace it with a different fabric. And to balance the new bottom, and also to fix a small worn area, I will add a pocket on the chest. Let's see what I can find that works with it. I'm not going to find the same fabric, but I'm looking for something contrasting, or at least that works together with this one. This one was okay, but something didn't click. This one had a nice contrast, but the fabric was too stiff. I think this one could be a good fit. Now I'm copying the shape of the damaged section with the new fabric and reattaching it to the blouse. This same method could also work if you ever want to make a top a bit longer. I made it in 3 pieces so the seams match with the original blouse. I'm going to join the new fabric to the blouse by facing the seams on right sides together, so the wrong side is facing me. It seems so easy to buy something new the moment a piece isn't perfect anymore, but finding clothes that truly feel good isn't that simple. We often replace something we loved only to end up with a new piece that doesn't feel quite right, so it sits unworn while we keep reaching for the old, worn clothes that actually fit our bodies and our lives. Mending isn't just about fixing clothes, it's about valuing them. If something needs repairing, it's usually because it was already loved, worn, and chosen again and again. That satisfaction we seek out by buying new was already there. It's also a way to connect with skills that have been passed down for generations. Maybe if at least one person in every family knew how to mend, there might be a lot less overconsumption. This is how it turned out. It's nothing special, but it will last a few more years, and now it has a pocket, so I guess it's better. My mother-in-law found this second-hand sweater for me, and I think it's beautiful. I love the quality of the wool and this enchanting blue, but the fit is far too long and loose. It was clearly made to fit a man. By shortening and resizing it, it might finally become something I actually reach for. I've shortened clothes before, but this one makes me a bit nervous because it's knitted. I've read that using interfacing can help stabilize knits, but I don't feel like going out to buy more supplies right now. Instead, I'm going to try using my walking foot, which should prevent the fabric from stretching and make it easier for the machine to handle the bulk. I'm using one of my favorite sweaters as reference to mark the length I want, pinning right along the ribbing line so I can keep it intact. Now I'll sew along the ribbing line on both the bottom and the sleeves, and I will leave the excess fabric uncut for now, as it makes sewing much easier. To finish it off, I used a zigzag stitch and gently pressed everything with the iron. It's so cute! Seeing it like this makes me want to add something extra to the chest, maybe a little ship. I've been watching videos about felted drawings on sweaters and I'd love to try it. Immediately after having this idea, I felt tempted to buy a full felting kit, but I'm trying to be mindful. First, I want to see if it's a skill I actually enjoy and will use, and only then decide if I need the new tools. Lately, it feels like collecting materials has become a hobby instead of actually making things. I want to avoid that consumerist trap, so no kit for now. Tomorrow I'll just pick up a bit of felting wool and try making it with similar tools I have at home. So for now, let's continue with the next project, and I will come back to the sweater later. You already know these are some of my favorite pants. They were actually the first pair of pants I've ever made, and as a complete beginner, I forgot one very important thing: pockets. I have two options. I could unstitch the sides and add inside pockets, or add one or two patch pockets on the back. I already showed how to add an outside pocket in my mom's blouse, so this time I'm going to add inside pockets. To start, I'm marking where I want the pockets. In my case, that's about 10 centimeters down from the waist. Once that's marked, I will carefully unstitch the side seams, around 20 to 30 centimeters.
You're so cute. Oh.
For inside pockets, I need 4 pieces of fabric. With the wrong side of the pants facing me, I pin each pocket along the side seam, making sure the main fabric faces inward. Then I stitch each pocket piece in place, sewing only where the new fabric is. Now that I have the pocket pieces attached to the side seams, I turn everything wrong side out, align the original side seam again, and sew a new seam that encloses the pockets. The inside of the pockets should look something like this. If you wanted, you could make some stitches to the pockets to stay at the front. And here they are. I can't believe I waited 2 years to do this. It took me less than 30 minutes. I am so happy to finally have pockets in these pants. And since this was such a quick fix, it looks like I still have time to adjust the sleeves of my winter dress. I made this dress last December and I love it so much. The only issue is that the pattern wasn't really designed for winter and the sleeves are a bit too short. I can get a little bit chilly with it, but when I wear it on its own it's fine. But as soon as I layer a sweater over it, the sleeves bunch up and sit awkwardly. And it just feels uncomfortable. I actually have quite a few options for fixing this, thanks to all the great ideas you left in the comments on that video. I'm definitely not redoing the sleeves from scratch, that's out of the question, but I could try bell sleeves, add ruffles, or incorporate shirt cuffs. I will test a few ideas and see what feels best. Comfort is my priority. Bell sleeves don't feel like the most practical option for winter, so I'm leaning towards adding cuffs. The question is, gather cuffs or classic shirt style cuffs? I ran a poll on Instagram and gathered cuffs won. I often share work in progress there, so if you'd like to be part of these little decisions, make sure to follow me on Instagram too. I have this leftover strip from when I used this fabric for my last quilt. First, I need to unpick how the sleeves are currently constructed, gather the fabric again, and attach the cuffs. This is how the sleeves look without the elastic band. This would make such a whimsical dress with a lighter fabric, noted for future projects. Okay, I've done one sleeve and I'm not loving it. Why does it look so much like a skirt? If you know how to make gathers that sit flatter instead of puffing out so much, please tell me. This isn't going to be comfortable, so I'm going to unpick it and try shirt cuffs instead. For the shirt cuffs, I took a look at one of my partner's shirts and it actually doesn't seem too complicated. I can reuse the same fabrics since I only need 2 pieces slightly wider than my waist. Before attaching them to the sleeves, I will add the buttonholes. Okay, what an adventure! For my first cuffs ever, they turned out pretty well. The buttons might not be exactly where they're supposed to be, but it works for me. Now it really feels like a winter dress. I love the character this small change adds, and it's exactly the kind of fix that can make a favorite piece wearable for years. Here's a little update on the blue sweater. I sketched a few ideas to figure out what I'd like to felt onto it, and these little cuties came out. A bunny would look lovely on this blue, but I just can't get over the sheep. What do you think I should felt? Then I got my wool, and since I didn't bought felting tools, I proceeded to test if it was possible to make it with regular needle and this foam from our shoe cabinet. Turns out it's not possible. I've been stabbing the yarn for a few minutes now and it's just not sticking at all. And I've stabbed my fingers, so yes, turns out that sometimes you really do need the right tools. I will get the proper felting supplies, but unfortunately I ran out of time to include this project in today's video. The good news is that I could turn this into its own video, exploring felted projects for the first time, decorating the sweater, mending holes with felt, and who knows what else. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. I really hope this video inspired you, and if you enjoyed it, you can watch this one next. Thank you so much for watching. Adeu!